The Butterfly Effect by Nikayla Sarai. Chapter 11. Shifting Lines. Thomas exhaled, massaging his shoulder from where Roman had rammed it in his desperation to get to his younger self. This was why he hated working with Reds. They were so impulsive. He whirled, grabbing up the actor's brilliant red lifeline as Roman skidded into himself, cursing under his breath as the two Romans flashed gold. Great. He hated working on the fly. Thomas darted forward, snagging Roman's teenage lifeline, and tugged, twisting the two threads together in a loose knot around the glowing figure to ensure Roman stayed merged with his younger self until the watch signaled that the actor had changed his choice. Okay. Thomas set himself, multicolored fingers gliding over Roman's lifelines as he stepped back, keeping the threads taut. Time to prepare for disappointment. Despite how much he already liked the actor, he doubted Roman would do well by his choice. After all, the moment he'd picked in his lifeline didn't make sense. From how Roman had reacted in the time stream, he'd expected there to be, well, more to this scene. Thomas knew all too well that small actions could be the catalyst to important life-changing events. But this small spat with a friend over a forgotten prop? It hadn't mattered in the long run for Roman. His performance had gone well. People had applauded his improvisation of the cane. In reality, Roman's lifeline had barely changed a shade. A small inconvenience, nothing more. Thomas shook his head, easily keeping up with Roman as the actor took off after his friend, keeping a close eye on the red lifeline with a small frown on his face. Unaltered. He could see that Roman was finally deviating from his previous choice, choosing to chase after his friend, to go with him, maybe? But the golden stars sitting on the red thread refused to flash as the three of them ran through the parking lot. "What are you thinking?" he mumbled, nearly running past the two as Roman pulled Patton to a stop. If they'd kept going, the two of them would have gone to get the prop. Wasn't that the choice the actor was wanting to change? His focus shifted from Roman's double red lifelines to Patton's blue one as it suddenly shimmered into view. That wasn't normal. Sure, if he focused while on a warp, Thomas could see other people's lifelines, see how their colors shifted and changed when his warping buddy made their new choice. But to have one appear without provocation? He moved both of Roman's threads into one hand so he could take up Patton's in the other, studying it with narrowed eyes. The blue lifeline leading into his future was faded, nearly beige in color after this point. His breath caught as the lifeline shimmered in his hand, the thread blurring as Patton turned to look at the street, to where his car was parked 3 blocks away. "You're sure?" Patton asked, chewing on his bottom lip. Roman nodded. "Yes." Patton huffed. "Well," he said, turning back to Roman, his pale lifeline snapping back into focus, a brilliant blue swirled with red as he winked. "Let's go find that spare, then," he said, dragging the actor back towards the theater, leaving Thomas gaping after them, their lifelines moving effortlessly through his lax fingers. It wasn't Roman's own life he'd wanted to change in this moment. It was Patton's. Thomas gripped the lifelines as the golden stars residing on Roman's red threads flashed gold. Roman had made his choice. But that was impossible. The actor hadn't... Warps could only change their own... Thomas shook his head, getting a grip on himself. He had a job to do. Focus on that first, and the impossibilities later. Letting go of Patton's lifeline, Thomas took up both of Roman's once more and tugged, releasing the knot holding past and present selves together. He barely waited for Roman to come free from his teenage self before he placed a hand on his shoulder. "You've made your choice. Now see the consequence," he told the startled actor before he whisked them both back into the time stream.